This is the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
Good evening and welcome inside the RebZone. Kevin Bollinger alongside UNLV Runnin Rebels head coach TJ Otzelberger. After a 2-win week as we're back in the Mountain West, coach, that's what you call a great week.
Yeah, it was a great week for our guys. I thought their focus defensively was tremendous. To start the week beating a very good Utah State team, very well coached, tremendous team, and it was a gutty win by our guys from start to finish. And then tonight, our next game with Air Force, our guys did a great job as well, just enacting our game plan, being physical, being gritty, being tough, and finding a way to come out with the win.
I know for the fans that have watched each and every game this year, the question came up this week, where in the heck has this team been all year?
I think our guys, through some of those early experiences, some of those overtime losses, have understood how important every possession is defensively, how we need to value the basketball offensively, and you're starting to see that progress as the year moves forward.
Well, let's start our look back at the week. We're going to begin with Saturday's win at Thomas and Mack against Air Force. UNLV football coach Marcus Arroyo was on hand to fire up the crowd before the game as the Runnin Rebels took on Air Force. The Falcons jumped out fast, launching from three-point range. Mbacke Diong set the tone inside defensively as he blocks the dunk attempt. So Air Force went back outside. Lavelle Scotty for three. Then Ryan Swan hits a triple, and Scotty again from downtown as Air Force hit its first 5 three-point attempts and opened up a double-digit lead. But that's when UNLV went on a 17-0 run over a 7.5-minute stretch. Amari Hardy drives for the reverse lay-in. Hardy delivers long distance, and Jonah Antonio follows with a triple of his own. Then Diong works his man inside for two. Nick Blair gets a shot to roll around and down, and Diong with the finger roll to cap the run as the Rebs flipped a 20-10 deficit into a 27-20 lead. Antonio hit another three just before the half, and UNLV led 34-27 at the break. They kept pouring it on in the second. Hardy started things off with a three. Then Marvin Coleman penetrates and dishes to Hardy down low for two, and Diong works his man for a scoop shot. At this point, Bryce Hamilton got hot. The drive and spin move for the bucket. The helper to Diong. He gets the hoop and the harm, and Hamilton kept on going. The baseline drive for the lay-in, the corner three, and the great move to cap it off for the bucket. Bryce had 15, Diong had 12, and Hardy 21. UNLV scored 22 points off 17 Air Force turnovers, and they get it done, 71-59.
We just hang our hats on defense. So I feel like when our defense is going more, our offense is going a lot easier. And that's what we did when we turned it around. We got up. It was the defense that did it for us. We switched it up. We got in the press, and we got them slowing down, took some shot clock off, and that's what did it for us right there.
We're just scratching the surface on how good we can be. We're showing glimpses here and there, but we're just trying to get better each and every day. Obviously, it's good to have 4 wins, but we're hungry for more and more.
All right, so this Air Force game was interesting because they came out on fire, hit their first 5 three-point attempts, but then things kind of switched when you guys pressed them a little bit, started to force them, and they turned the ball over and kind of changed the whole mojo of that game.
Yeah, it was not the start we wanted. We have a lot of respect for their program and know that they're a tremendous shooting team, one of the better shooting teams in the country. That came out on display right away to start. We felt like we needed to adapt and adjust to the game and pick up full court, try to impose our will, be the aggressor. So press some man, some run and jump man, some zone, just to really try to disrupt that rhythm.
This was the team that came in number 2 in the country, I believe, in offensive efficiency, just put over 100 up on Long Beach State. They had it clicking. Did you know that if you were going to win this game, it was going to be on the defensive end and having to shut them down?
Absolutely. We didn't want to get into a game where it's going up and down and it's in the 80s or 90s. That would play to their favor. We knew that we had to be very stingy on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, after that start, the first 8 minutes or so, they're already at 20 points, 5 for 5 from 3. Then we had that 17-0 run and really kicked things in defensively, and I thought did a great job from there.
I know a lot of fans who were at the game were seeing Donnie Tillman on the bench. Why didn't he play in this game?
Donnie was late for shoot-around today, and I want to, focus our efforts on the guys that did play, but we talked a lot about accountability in this program, and we're not going to budge. So our guys know the standard. We need to uphold the standard.
And I guess it goes back to a bigger picture to what we saw this week, because prior to getting back to conference play, you had made some changes in the starting lineup to send a message for 2 games. This also a message being sent as well. Are the guys, seems like they're starting to click into the culture of what you want here?
Yeah, we want a high standard. We have a lot of respect for the program. What's happened here with the coaches, the players, the success and the winning that's gone on here over years, and we want to make sure that we lift that standard and uphold it. So our guys know what the rules and the standard that we have on a daily basis, what's asked of them. It's my job to hold everybody to that and to maintain clarity of that vision, and I'm going to do my job every day and make sure we do that.
Well, let's turn to Wednesday night when Utah State was here in Las Vegas to ring in the new year, and UNLV acted like a boa constrictor, suffocating the Aggies with their defense. Wednesday night, Utah State was in town for the first UNLV game of 2020. The Aggies came in 13-2 and the defending Mountain West champions, but the Runnin Rebels delivered a beatdown. It started on the offensive end. Amari Hardy out of the gates with a 3. But the defensive presence set the tone right away as UNLV forced a shot clock violation on Utah State's first possession. The offense kept flowing thanks to great ball movement. Mbacke Diong finishes this possession with the lay-in. Then Hardy with the alley-oop over to Diong, and Bryce Hamilton the spin move and fall-away jumper. Hamilton follows that with a running one-hander. Marvin Coleman got in on the action with a triple to build the lead to double digits at 22-12. A scary moment with just over 6 minutes left in the first as Diong goes to the floor hard and he stayed down. He'd have to be helped to the locker room but would return later. Here's the key play of the first half. Vitaly Shebel gets his man in the air. He gets the hoop in the arm, and on the review, the blow to the head gave Utah State a flagrant 1 foul. Shebel made 1 of 2 free throws and UNLV kept the ball. Hardy drained a big 3. A 6-point possession opened up the lead. Utah State was in shock and the MAC was rocking as the Runnin Rebels took a 37-26 lead into the half. The Rebs kept the pressure on in the second. Hardy with the step-back jumper. The Rebels steal and they run. Nick Blair finishes on the other end. Jonah Antonio buried a long 3, and Diong delivers the rejection and he flexes his muscles as everything was clicking on all cylinders. It kept coming. Blair works his man for 2. Hamilton grabs the offensive rebound and gets the finger roll to go. More defense as the Rebs poke the ball away and start transition. Hamilton on the other end, he throws it down. The capper from Hamilton late as he goes baseline for the bucket and the bump. It was complete dominance on both ends of the floor against one of the elite teams in the West as UNLV made a big-time statement with the 70-53 win.
We pressured them. We got into them early. We came out with the defensive intensity. We came out and we wanted to say we were taking out their best player. And I think we did a great job of that tonight. Made it tough for him. And even then, he had tough shots when he did shoot them.
Let's start again on the defensive end because you guys harassed and really rattled Utah State, especially Sam Merrill, who, when he gets open looks, doesn't miss many shots. But you obviously frustrated this team.
I think it's out of respect for their team and their program. Our guys knew they were really good, had a tough game at their place last year, knew that they were ranked coming into the season, preseason, picked to win the league, and Merrill's been one of the more dominant players in this conference in recent memory. So our guys came out, they knew the focus they had to have, felt like we had active hands, taking away shooters all night long, did a great job guarding the drive, and with a guy like Merrill, you've got to shut him down or he makes the others better. Thought our focus was really good, not just individually with guarding him, but multiple defenders guarding him, and then all the ball screens they set. Mbacke, Vitaly, Nick, guys being up at that point of the screen really helped us to be successful.
We saw guys diving for loose balls and going into the stands after balls. That's the kind of basketball you want to see.
Definitely. I know that we can do that. I know our guys put a lot of time in. I think we're starting to see some of that resolve and the resiliency of the hours that we've put in and how hard we practice each day. Really proud of our team when they lay it on the court like that.
And when you do have a defensive effort like that, it seemed to trigger the offense. You got in transition a lot more. The tempo of this team has picked up here in the last week, but it starts on the defensive side.
It does, I think, as our defense has continued to improve, then it gives us that value of the offense. We work so hard to get the ball, to get that stop, that our guys want to make the right play. And to your point with our tempo, we want to get out and run more. We're not going to be a team playing in the 90s, but we want to get out more in transition. We know we can be effective there, and so I'm really excited about how we continue to improve defensively. That allows us that opportunity to run.
All right, 3-0, the Rebels are in the Mountain West, and the conference continues back on the road. The Rebels hitting it for 2 games this upcoming week. We're going to preview them next as the Red Zone rolls on.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
This week, the Runnin Rebels back on the road for 2, Wednesday in Boise and then Saturday in Laramie, Wyoming. Wednesday night, the Runnin Rebels hit the road to take on Boise State in Idaho's capital city. Gone are the jokes about playing at Taco Bell Arena. Okay, maybe one more. It's now called Extra Mile Arena, named after the chain of convenience stores. But playing the Broncos will be no convenience. This is a solid veteran team that will challenge UNLV on both ends of the floor. With 5 seniors who have logged a lot of minutes, Boise has a comfort level on the floor with each other.
I think that's huge. Chemistry is a big part in basketball, you know, and I think that kind of flows into momentum in games and stuff like that. So just having guys that you played with for 3 years, 4 years now coming up, you know, that's a big thing.
Guard Justinian Jessup has been a rebel killer over the years, and head coach Leon Rice thinks that they've surrounded him with the help he needs to be even better.
He's one of those guys that when you go back and watch the film, it's just the right play after the right play after the right play. And you know, I think what we've done this year is there's just going to be a little more scoring threats around him that are really going to help him. And that when you have a guy like that, it just makes him a lot better, because if he's got guys that can make shots around him, he'll make the right play.
Boise doesn't give up a lot of gimmies. They don't foul at a high rate, and opposing teams don't get many offensive rebounds. They also have as good of a three-point defense as there is in the Mountain West. This will be a game where UNLV will earn everything they get. On Saturday, the road trip continues in Laramie as the Runnin Rebels play Wyoming. That means playing at the highest elevation of any Division I basketball court, 7,220 feet. Oxygen is at a premium, and visiting teams have struggled with handling breathing and getting gassed late in games.
Home court advantage in the sense of us being home, the elevation, and for me, it's a little bit more personal being from Las Vegas and being at Wyoming, kind of wanting to represent Wyoming in the right ways.
A.J. Banks is a Cheyenne grad who wasn't recruited by UNLV and will play with a chip on his shoulder for this one. But his coach says that he's got the skills to be a game changer.
He has the ability to be one of the best defensive players in this league because of his speed, his athleticism, and his conditioning.
But the player to watch is Hunter Maldonado. The sophomore is averaging 18 points and 6 rebounds a game. With all of that said, the Cowboys are struggling this season, failing to win many games against a soft non-conference schedule, being one of the worst in the country in points per possession and among the worst in offensive rebounding. The Cowboys stay in games by playing defense. It's been a foundation in Wyoming for years, and this team is no different.
That has to be the staple, you know, of what we do, defend and rebound the basketball. And they've really taken to that side of the basketball, which I'm excited for.
Wyoming is also familiar with TJ Otzelberger, having played South Dakota State the last couple of seasons. This week brings 2 tough road games, but a chance for UNLV to dig in and see what this team is made of. Let's start with Boise State. This is a team that has a lot of guys coming back, 5 seniors on this team. They're definitely a veteran group that are tough to match up against.
They are. They've got older, experienced guys, a lot of seniors. Alston is one of the best players in the league. I mean, tremendous frontline talent, leading the league in scoring, and does so much more than that for him. Jessup, a veteran guard who's just tough and kind of their quarterback and leader out there. So it's a group that's been together. It's a group with a lot of veteran leaders. We're going to need to be at our best going into Boise.
I know one thing that we talked about in the story leading into us talking is the fact that Boise doesn't foul a lot. Other teams aren't going to the line. You're going to have to earn it through the offense. You're not going to get at the charity stripe of this group.
Now we're going to have to make shots. They do a great job, and they're disciplined defensively and not using their hands and making you finish over the top and not giving you the opportunity to get to that free throw line. So we're going to need to finish through some of that contact. We're going to need to knock down shots. Those are both going to be important parts for us offensively to be successful. So
Saturday you head up to Laramie. It's a team that you've seen the last couple of years. South Dakota State played Wyoming here the last couple of years. It begins and ends in Laramie with defense.
Yeah, they're a tremendous defensive ball club. They do a great job protecting the paint, protecting the rim. You've got to earn baskets against them. They want it to be a knockdown, drag-out kind of brawl, and we've got to embrace that type of game. I think our guys are physical, but we really have to be up for that challenge in Laramie because we know it's going to be a physical game.
We see it every time we go to Laramie with players who are going there for the first time, the altitude. People can talk about it as much as you want. Until you get up there and play in that, you really don't know. How do you approach that this week with them?
Well, I think our guys need to understand that that's part of it. And, to me, that first 4 minutes is really impactful. I think when you get your lungs, you kind of feel that air the first time as you're getting up and down. And from my experience, guys kind of settle in the game after that. So you need to bring it to their attention, let them know it's going to be a factor, but I also don't think we want to put too much emphasis on it. Just want to focus on what we need to do to win the game.
All right, we're going to take another short break right now. When we come back, we're going to talk about one of the biggest stars so far in this Runnin Rebels season, Mbacke Diong. Stay with us.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
When Mbacke Diong came to UNLV as a freshman, everybody knew he was going to be a work in progress, and boy, has he put in the work, and he has progressed. Mbacke Diong has been a steady influence on this Runnin Rebel team in transition. The junior center continues to turn in productive minutes, putting together double-double games and becoming a solid rim protector while also improving his skills on the offensive end down low. Diong says it comes down to preparation and a mindset.
Just being ready, no matter what situation you are, just being ready to do whatever you need to do to help your team.
That begins in practice, where Diong always likes to set the tone for himself and the team.
Just going hard every time in practice, every time I step on the court, I just try to go hard, whether it's this program or the past program. So it really doesn't matter to me. I just want to play ball and just play hard.
Diong decided to stay at UNLV and not transfer, based on one basic reason.
Finishing what we started out here.
That's meant adapting to a new coach, who he says is starting to build a connection with his players.
He got a lot of confidence on us, like on everybody on the team, and then he gave us like a lot of freedom to do like the right thing on the court and off the court. So I feel like it's a great thing that he's doing out here.
Diong hopes his 2 trips around the Mountain West will help him to lead this conference season and let the new members of the program know what it takes, especially on the road.
When we go on the other team's city, we just need like to play harder than them, play smarter, and like play defense and just earn the right to win.
While basketball is a big part of his life, Diong says his family is always number one. Being from Senegal, he doesn't get to see them much, but makes sure to talk to his mom every night, despite the time difference.
It's really important to me to just talk to them and have them behind me.
And when his basketball career comes to an end, Diong has big plans to return to Senegal and make a difference, especially with the youth, to help them overcome adversity and lead successful lives. It's that inner drive that makes Mbacke Diong tick, a motor that runs on the court as a player, but revs even more as a man. All right, here's a guy that has really kind of been the focus of a lot of things you do on both ends of the floor. He's really performed well so far.
Mbacke's a winner. I mean, hard-nosed, tough worker, guy that gets better every day because he invests in himself, invests in his teammates. He leaves it on the court every night out there. I think we're seeing him continue to progress offensively. We're getting him more touches. He's being more impactful scoring the basketball. And then I think defensively he's becoming one of the elite defenders, not only in our league, but beyond our conference.
I know one thing when he came in as a freshman, the biggest thing that he had to work on were his hands. And he's got much softer hands now on the offense when he receives the ball down low.
Our guys are looking for him, and they know that he's going to catch it if we throw it in his direction. He's continued to progress that way and not bringing the ball to the floor, trying to keep it high and finish through contact. He keeps working, and he keeps getting better in front of our eyes, so really proud of him for that.
One final break, and then we're going to come back with your Runnin' Rebel Plays of the Week. Stay with us.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
All right, we got Wednesday in Boise and Saturday in Laramie. We'll be with the team. We'll have previews and then all your highlights and post-game reaction on Fox 5 throughout the week. That's a wrap for the RebZone. Thanks for joining us for this one. We leave you tonight with the Runnin' Rebel Plays of the Week. Good night.
The RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.